Well, welcome. This day has been a long time coming. And before I begin, I just want to thank the geniuses behind these tents, because this would be a total different story otherwise. So welcome everyone to the future site of One Congress. This is Boston's newest office tower, and one that will transform the city skyline as we all know it. I'm Paul Burton. I'm so proud and honored and thrilled to be your MC through this morning as we celebrate the groundbreaking of this incredible project and hear from some of the stakeholders who made this project all possible. We are standing right now at the footprint of what will become the tallest office building constructed in Boston in over 15 years. Once completed, One Congress will stand 600 feet tall, offer some truly incredible views of Boston Harbor, the Charles River, iconic Boston neighborhoods like Beacon Hill, the North End, Charlestown, and we already know who will be enjoying the view from their offices, State Street Bank. They will be relocating their headquarters to over 500,000 square feet of office space and One Congress in 2022. Another round of applause for State Street for their huge investment. Now this new tower is a major piece of one larger Bullfinch Crossing development, which is transforming the existing government center garage, as we're all familiar with, into one of the most vibrant developments in downtown Boston. Eventually, Bullfinch Crossing will feature 2.9 million square feet of first-class residential, office, hotel, and retail offerings featuring more than 800 residential units, 200 hotel rooms, 1.15 million square feet of office spaces, and 82,500 square feet of new retail space. Now, we wouldn't be here today without this significant contributions of some key players. One Congress is a joint venture between Carr Properties, National Real Estate Advisors, and the HYM Investment Group, serving as a local developer. A round of applause for all three of these teams. Alongside the leadership of State Street and the building trades. But first, it's my pleasure to welcome the ringleader behind all this, and welcome the leader who's been developing the growth of across the city of Boston throughout 5+ years of his time in office. Boston is rapidly growing and changing. No one has seen it more up close and personal than our mayor. Boston's growth has been the driving force, Boston has been the fact that it has been an attractive place to live, work, and play. People want to be in Boston. This is a city of champions, and people love to be here. The mayor is an extraordinary leader. He makes things happen. He's all over the city. He visits everywhere. He wants to see Boston change. He wants to see it grow. He is a driving force behind so many changes here in his past 5 years. He is a leader with great passion and compassion. And I'm truly proud to call him our mayor. Let's welcome Boston Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Paul. And I know Tom's going to talk about Paul in a few minutes, but I want to thank Paul and his family. They're amazing, remarkable people, what they do for our young people in the city and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And thank you for everything you do, including bringing us the news. Thank you for that. It's exciting to be here today, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I want to just give a shout out to a few people that are here, because when you think about whether this project or things that are happening in the city or the state, it's important that we do it together. And we have some amazing elected officials here. We'll start with the city and then go to the state. We're actually in his district. I think we're in his districts, or on the border of his district, both of them. Actually, we're in his district. City Councilor Eddie Flynn. Thank you, Councilor Flynn. Across the street, City Councilor Josh Zagum. State Representative Jay Livingstone. and State Representative and Chairman of Ways and Means, Aaron Mikowitz. I want to thank the team from the Boston Planning and Development Agency that's here today to do amazing work in the city. I want to give a shout out to John Barrows, Chief of Economic Development in the city of Boston. All of the people behind me who were going to speak today, who have such an important role in making this project happen. I want to thank them all. I was actually talking to Mark Fortune down the back of the room, and the first time that I kind of got involved in this project was 2011. I had just taken over the building trades, and we started having conversations, and I was talking to Tom and Mark and everybody, and it was just amazing that when you think about the conversations of buildings like this, how long it takes to actually get going because of what the team that needs to come together. And when you think about the team that's on the stage, they're amazing. And I want to thank Ron O'Hanley, also of State Street, for staying here in the city of Boston. Thank you very much. I was going to say all kinds of nice things about Tom O'Brien and the great work he does, but I'm really going to just give a shout out to John Hurley, who's here with his baby. Where is he? Where are you, John? John's right there. His dad Jay used to run the ironworkers. He probably still does. He's retired. And I remember, talking about John when he was in high school as a basketball player, in college as a basketball player, and how proud he was of his son, and just seeing the work that he's done now here in this project and so much. So congratulations, John. Congratulations on the baby. And I want to give a shout out to the men and women of the building trades. A lot of different building trade leaders are here, but also the men and women that are going to work on this project. Thank you for what you do every single day in our city. This is an exciting project. It's obviously this groundbreaking. I'm excited about it. A lot of us are excited about it. One Congress is going to be the tallest office building constructed in our city since 1984. Think about that for a minute. We've done a lot of housing. We've done a lot of tall buildings. It's the tallest since 1984, and certainly excited about that. I think in 1984, right around there, Mike Monahan and myself were working on 75 State Street when they were building that building, and it's amazing to see this happen in the city of Boston. 1 million square feet of office space. It's going to be an anchor to the Bullfinch Crossing. It's going to be new home to State Street. And when you think about the difference, and everyone in the room knows obviously the difference between residential and office, but creating jobs is so important in the city. We've built a lot of tall buildings in the last several years in the city of Boston. Those buildings have been mostly residential, but this opportunity allows people to have employment, earn a paycheck, both as it's being built, as construction folks on the job, but then when it's done, having jobs inside the building really is an important aspect for the city of Boston as we grow. This is one of the most dynamic areas of the city of Boston. It's a magnet for sports, obviously, and concert goers, commuters, tourists, and now we're going to draw more business here, and that's what I like to see about it, diversifying what this area is used for. Companies are recognizing Boston's status as a leader in technology innovation. John Barrows and his team have done an amazing job of reaching out to that world and making sure we continue to bring more opportunities to the city of Boston. You have people like Tom O'Brien, and you have elected officials. A lot of the technology innovation that's coming here now, the groundwork was laid at the State House many years ago with different pieces of legislation that we did to really bring innovation back to Massachusetts and back to Boston. And this is all paying off. This is legislation that was passed in '99, legislation was passed in '01, legislation was passed in 2010. All of those different pieces of attracting new businesses, that's what this is all about. And that's exciting to see. People want to be part of our success here in Boston. They want to take advantage of the pipeline of talent, the talent that we have in our college, universities, and in our neighborhoods right here, and we have a lot of talent. We're excited that One Congress will bring so much new state-of-the-art office space to the area. Once the larger Bullfinch Crossing project is complete, there'll be even more benefits to the city of Boston and the residents of the city of Boston. More income-restricted housing. We lead the country in that. 1 in 5 units of housing is income restricted for folks in the city. So we are making sure that we want to pull everyone up together. Thousands of construction jobs and permanent jobs. Thousands of construction jobs, and construction jobs, for people that don't understand it, are permanent jobs of construction workers. And having those jobs are really important to keep people to be able to work and put food on their table. $12 million in linkage funds through affordable housing and workforce development programs, allowing us to continue the momentum we have in building affordable low-income housing for people. This is transforming the area as we know. It's going to offer more opportunities for people to live, work, and play here. It brings a whole new area of vibrancy to this area. It joins other big areas in other big projects in the area. Hub on Causeway, Garden Garage, Dock Square, and City Hall Plaza, quite honestly, when we renovate City Hall Plaza and open up City Hall Plaza to make it more of a destination location for people to come and enjoy their building, their public building, and doing that is so important. So when you think about this whole area, it's connecting the West End as well. The West End for many years felt that they were forgotten. And what we've done is we haven't done it, they've done it. They've built a neighborhood in the West End, and this strong neighborhood. And when I first got elected mayor, one of the things that I was explained many, many times by Jay and by Josh and by other elected officials, but also by the community, that we are a neighborhood. And they certainly are a neighborhood. And we're connecting the West End, we're connecting it to the North End, we're connecting the West and North End now to downtown and to other areas in the city of Boston, so we're excited. As our city grows, we're always thinking about how do we bring communities together. This development represents that vision of possibilities for the impact that this will have on our city. So again, to everyone behind me, I want to thank you for your investment. I want to thank you for what you brought to this project. To the people in this under this tent that actually did all of the work to make all of this thing work, I want to thank you as well, because if it weren't for most of the people in this tent, we would not be here today. And have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor, for your time, leadership, and your vision. It is now time to introduce the stakeholders, the dream team who made all this happen. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Jeffrey Canny, the CEO and President of National Real Estate Advisors.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. If you've never built a project like this, you really don't understand that there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people involved. Impossible to thank everybody, but it's truly, literally true. Hundreds of people are behind this building. I do want to thank the mayor. Thank you so much for your support. I want to thank Straight Street. Thank you for your faith in us. We told you we would build this building for you on time, and we will. And it'll be a wonderful landmark for Boston, and for your company. I want to thank, very importantly, the IBW and NECA. We manage money for 60-some institutional investment plans, much of it from the IBW members across the country and NECA contractors. Without their money, none of this would have happened. Without their faith in us, none of it would have happened. Mike, Lou, thank you. So I want to give you a little history. So 13 years ago, Kevin, our very talented investment guy, and we stood on this site, and we had it pitched to us by someone who's long gone. Been a lot of people involved in this project who are long gone. Kevin and I have not ever gone. But we looked at the building, we looked at the site, we looked at the transportation network. We love Boston, we love its bones, we love its intellectual capital, and we love the fact that this building was so ugly. Because we thought, because it was really, really ugly, that the community was going to greet us as a savior. And they would give us whatever we wanted, and we would get our approvals in 2 years and we'd build it all in 5. So we should have been done in 2011, I think. Well, we missed a couple of things. Our analysis was quick and pretty accurate, broadly accurate, but we missed the Great Recession. That was one thing. That rolled over us like a freight train, but we hung on. We missed the fact that we weren't quite as charming as we thought. So instead of 100 public meetings, we had like 600, I think. I don't know. Before we could convince people that we ought to build this complex in this site. But we never gave up, and we're today here for the One Congress, the office building, which is an incredibly important part of this whole complex, but it's only part of this complex. So I would like to say this, at the risk of being too political. In many respects, the commencement of this building its functionality, its environmentally sensitive nature. It really represents the antithesis of the image that emanates from the White House about what developers and development is like. This project's been successful because everybody involved has worked together, cooperatively, responsibly, honestly, with integrity, sometimes very selflessly. And we all did it because we thought we were building something bigger than ourselves, something that was going to benefit the community, benefit workers, benefit everybody involved, and even down to the people who are only going to drive by one day and see this beautiful building. They're going to feel good. They're going to feel good about their city. They're going to feel good about their country. So I'm very proud of that. We're going to carry those values forward to the rest of the project as soon as we can, as soon as we can get a permit, Mr. Mayor. We're going to knock that garage down, and Congress Street will see light for the first time, I believe, in 70 years, something like that. So I have to say a couple of things about a couple of people up here, then I'll sit down. First of all, Tom O'Brien. After the freight train ran us over in the Great Recession, it ran a lot of people over, ran Tom over too. But we found each other and threw each other life vests, and we managed to do this. Without Tom and his team and their values, we couldn't have done this. So Tom, thank you. And your team. Then finally, I want to thank Oliver and his team. So I was with Oliver in Washington not that long ago, and he mentioned that they were thinking about moving out of Washington, trying to get another city, and you'd identified Boston. And I said, well, Oliver, we have a project for you. And do we have a project for you? I mean, if you want to get started in a new city, building office buildings, you can't do better than this. So Oliver and we have had a terrific relationship. Initially, we were bringing Oliver Carr Properties in because we wanted to diversify our risk, free up some of our capital so we could get to the rest of the garage. But we found out pretty quickly that they are superb developers. They don't leave a single stone unturned. They assess everything. They put everything under a microscope. We're going to have a much better building. You're going to have a much better office because Oliver and his team have been involved. So thank you, Oliver. Other than that, all I'll say is I love Boston. It's a great place, and we're glad to be here.
Thank you, Jeff. Next up, I'd like to welcome Oliver Carr, CEO of Carr Properties.
Good morning. I think apparently I'm going to owe Jeff holiday presents for the rest of my life, so I'm okay with that. So this is an amazing opportunity for our company, and I think for the city of Boston. I know Tom is going to go through a list of many folks involved in the project, so I'm just going to name a few. But first, I also want to thank the mayor and the support of the Boston community for bringing this incredible project to life. I mean, buildings like this change cities and make them better. So I applaud your vision. And then what Jeff Canny said was true. We had a meeting actually after both pursuing a large headquarters requirement that unfortunately didn't go our way. And we talked about Carr's desire and intent to expand into the Boston market. And Jeff said, come on, we've got a good one for you. And I think he was kind of underselling the opportunity. But I have to say that working with Jeff and his team at NREA has been a true partnership experience, and it's pretty rare when we as a new team kind of parachute onto the scene just about 2 years ago There's a team that's been working on the project, as you heard, more than 10 years. They've embraced us. We've worked great together. And I think all the combined efforts are going to lead to a much better result than if any one of us had been pursuing it individually. We also got to, obviously, get to know Tom O'Brien and the team at HYM. They are something special. I mean, in terms of being dialed into the network and the fabric of Boston, we couldn't have asked for a better development partner. So, Tom, thank you and your team for everything. And I'm pretty proud of our team at CAR as well, so led by Austin Holderness, Jim Burkhan, Jason Bachneck. These guys have learned all the ins and outs of the American Airlines schedule from DC, burning a lot of airtime, but they've done a tremendous job bringing the project to this point. So thanks team for everything you've done. So when you conceive of a project like this, I mean, it's beautiful renderings, amazing views. I'll talk a little bit about the amenities, but it only works with a customer, right? So it was fantastic working with John Barry and the team at CB, who helped us meet State Street. And very quickly, I think we had a common vision for what this building could be, the kind of environment it could be for State Street and their employees. So I want to thank Ron O'Hanley and the whole executive team at State Street for believing in One Congress. Thank you very much. So Mayor Walsh actually pointed out a couple of things that are really important to us and kind of why we're here in Boston, how we think about office. So the first is we love to invest into innovation markets. And when you look at Boston, honestly, it's got everything going for it. You've got amazing research universities, you've got a deep technology base, you've got growing life sciences, you've got in-migration, population growth, pretty good sports teams. That's hard to say as a DC person, but anyhow, Boston has everything going for it. So that's why we're here, and we hope to grow in this market. The second part of the story is we really see office changing and becoming much more experiential. So I think office of the future is going to offer all of the attributes that One Congress offers. So that includes amazing design, incredible interior spaces, great community space, amazing views, perfect, access to public transit. So I think One Congress has everything, and we're really excited about the opportunity. And we think this building is actually going to be an amazing recruiting tool for our customers. It's all about today attracting and retaining talent, and this building is the best possible tool out there for our corporate customers. So we're thrilled to be part of the project and want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Oliver. And now it's my pleasure to welcome Ron O'Hanley, who will soon have a new place to call home, President and CEO of State Street Corporation.
Thank you, everybody. A lot goes into thinking about why you want to, where you want to locate your business and why you want to locate it here. And there's just a whole lot of people that I need to thank for helping us make that decision. Mayor Walsh, Oliver Carr, Jeff County, Tom O'Brien, Lou Antonellis, and to everyone else here that's helped to make our vision a reality. Thank you all, by the way, for coming today. We're an unusual institution. We're 227 years old, and for that entire time, we've called Boston our home. And we couldn't be more proud to be making this investment in this community yet again. Rooted in Boston, today we're very different than we were 227 years ago. We actually have locations in 28 countries. We have clients in over 90 countries. And we work around the world, but always headquartered here and always reminding ourselves that this is our home and this is our roots. What really has driven our success has been our ability to look ahead. And that's a lot of what this project is about, is looking ahead, and I'm going to come to that. It's also been about drawing on talent, and this is a talent-rich community, and one in which that we need to continue to figure out how to draw from that talent. But it's also one in which is rooted in what we are, which is we're an investment company. We either invest on behalf of people or we service those that invest. And I always say that as an investment company, there's a lot of money involved and there's money moving back and forth, but you really represent the hopes and dreams of a lot of people. Their hope to retire with dignity, their hope to send their kids to college, their hope to buy a new home. And that's what we do, and that's why it's very important that we have a space that enables us to do that very well. One thing we recognize, though, that this third century that we're in is very different than the last 2 centuries. And we recognize that our mission needs to be invested and grounded in what we do for our clients, but it also has to be sustainable and inclusive. And that's really why we salute Mayor Marty Walsh in his leadership in making Boston a more sustainable city, with his climate-ready Boston strategy and dedication to making the city carbon neutral. And much about this project is consistent with that, and I'll come to that. Mayor Walsh recognizes that while cities generate 70% of the world's carbon emissions, they're also the place where the problem's going to be solved, right? They're laboratories that help us create and scale mitigation and adaptation solutions. And making cities more resilient and more sustainable will in fact be a major way in which we solve this problem. I had the good fortune last week, I spent 2 days in Rome at a conference actually convened by the Vatican on carbon and what are we going to do as a world, not as a country, not as a city, not as a particular company, but what are we going to do as a world to solve this problem? I was with the CEOs of the largest oil and gas companies around the world and the CEOs of the largest investors. So we invest in them, we provide the money, they do the work. The objective was to gain commitment on solving this problem at the corporate level. I must say, I was impressed by the commitment of the oil and gas companies. They recognize that this is a problem that they need to solve. I was even more impressed by the commitment of the Pope and using the Vatican's convening power to actually bring people together. He joined us for 2 hours, and he emphasized that the Earth is a shared neighborhood. We don't own it. We're here for a period of time. We're stewards of it. And he also made the point that struck home for me, that climate change is more likely than not going to disproportionately affect the poor and those basically can't get out of the way for it. So that if we don't address this, we're just going to fuel the inequality problem. But one fact drives me the most and why this project was so important to me personally. 50% of the carbon collected in the atmosphere, and you can argue about whether or not, or you can debate whether or not this is a problem, but this is a fact. 50% of the carbon that was collected in the atmosphere, remember, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Unless it's absorbed by something, it stays there. 50% was generated in the last 30 years. So that means that I and my generation have created this problem, and we got to fix it. And we can't foist it off on our children or our grandchildren. So for us, a landmark project like One Congress is a meaningful step towards solving this problem. And that's how you solve it, right? You solve it a project at a time, a building at a time. It's what individuals do and what companies can do. And that's why we are so proud to call One Congress a shining example of the next generation of sustainable architecture in Boston, built to gold LEED standards for the most efficient use of energy and building materials. That will be the next headquarters of State Street. It represents workplace design innovation that we believe will promote creativity and innovation, which we need from our employees and our clients need from our employees. And it will be a breakthrough, both for State Street and for Boston alike. Flooded by natural light, rising high above the waterfront, One Congress and the State Street headquarters are going to look out on that same horizon that generations of Bostonians have. And they've looked out on that horizon to dream big and work globally for their families, their businesses, and for this great city. So Mayor Walsh, we thank you for your vision. To the developers and contractors and members of the trades, We thank you for your partnership and for helping us bring a better State Street and a better Boston. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron, for your inspiring words. It is now my pleasure to call up a dear friend, a brother, a man who I think of integrity, when I think of leadership, when I think of humility, I think of Tom O'Brien, managing partner, founding partner of the HYM Investment Group. Tom O'Brien.
Thank you so much, Paul. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. This is a huge day for all of us. I'm actually sitting here, I'm kind of jumping out of my shoes. This has been an amazing process for us to get to this point, but so we thank you all for staying here. I would say, I can see the rain coming now. I'm told that rain is good luck for the process that we're about to go on, right? Rain means we're going to be able to deliver this building on time. But I'm so glad that my friend Paul Burton has agreed to be our Master of Ceremonies this morning. Many of you know Paul as a newscaster on WBZ TV, but I know him as part of a family of Burtons who focus almost all of their time, talent, and treasure on improving the lives of young people in Greater Boston, particularly young men of color. Paul, along with his brothers and his mother, are the heart and soul of the Ron Burton Training Village. The village is not simply a place, it's a way of living one's life. Paul's father, Ron Burton, was the very first draft pick of what were then the Boston Patriots in 1960. None of us were born, right, Paul? But when Mr. Burton, Paul's father, was a young person, he was small and impoverished and was isolated from other kids in his middle school. Then one day a coach told him that if he wanted to grow and become a good football player, that he should run 7 miles a day, every day, beginning at 4:30 in the morning. Mr. Burton began running the very next day, and eventually he became a Big Ten football player at Northwestern, an All-American, and an NFL player. But those accomplishments are only a small part of the impact that Mr. Burton's life has had on others. When he got to Boston, he knew that he had to help other young people realize their potential, and so he built a program that today is still run by his son Paul, together with Mrs. Burton and Paul's brothers. For decades now, the Burtons have been helping thousands of young people change the direction of their lives. Each of those kids runs 7 miles a day, beginning at 4:30 in the morning, and they grow to love it, right, Paul? But the key part of the RBTV program is to get these kids to focus on their entire being, their spirituality and their mind, as well as their physical being. The impact this program has had on the lives of young people is dramatic. There are 4 words that form the central theme of the RBTV program: love, peace, patience, and humility. I choose to speak about Paul and the Burton family today, and embarrass him just a little bit, because I want all of us to focus on those 4 words today: love, peace, patience, and humility. 3 years from now, God willing, we will gather again on this very site to open a beautiful building. It will be 600 feet tall, and it will completely remake this neighborhood and redefine the Boston skyline. But our focus cannot be on the steel and the concrete and the glass of this building. Our focus must be on the people. People will build this building, and people will occupy it. And that's why the words love, peace, patience, and humility matter. All of us need to remember these words as we work together as a team to create this beautiful building. It's about the people. And we thank you, Mayor Walsh, for being here this morning, but being our champion all the way through this process. We thank John Barros and the entire team within City Hall who have been huge helps for us. And I have to say, Mayor, for you to be here this morning, I know you've got a ton going on. You exist in the ring every single day, and we appreciate the fact that you're able to be here with us for this period of time. You've done an amazing job trying to balance the job-creating projects that are happening in places like downtown Boston, but you're also doing that by making sure that our neighborhoods get the appropriate and extensive attention that they should get. So thank you, Mayor Walsh. People. I work every day with amazing people at HYM. My partners, Doug Manns and Paul Crisali. Where are you guys? There you are. We love each other. We're friends with one another. We are great partners together. It's just been an amazing journey with you guys. I also am joined by the other members of the HYM One Congress team, the One Congress team, John Hurley, Anne Marie Darling, David Ambrose, Julie Livingstone, Caitlin McCarthy, Megan Kane, Josh Billings, Pamela Mukiza, Erica Lee, Jamie Balkerin, Madeline Fitzgerald, Maddie Fitz put this event together, Rochelle Roberts, Lacey Plunkett, and Leanne Cargett, now Leanne Scott, plus all of the other HYMers. There are more of you. I'm sorry I can't name all of you. All of you who are here, thank you. It's an amazing job to work with you all. We are truly honored to work with the wonderful teams of people that Jeff Canny and Oliver Carr have formed at National and at Carr. Thank you so much for your partnership with us. We love working with you guys. We love working with David Nagahiro and David Hancock and the entire team at CBT. You guys, along with our friends Joe Salvia, I saw Joe here, and Adam McCarthy at McNamara Salvia, you guys have been with us since the very beginning on this project. Thank you so much, all of you guys. When we were able to combine your talents together with those of Mark Shoemaker and the team at Pelley, together we've envisioned a magical building. So thank you, Mark, and the whole team at Pelley. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the truly great team of people at State Street, from Dustin to Brian to Ron O'Hanley, all of you folks, you've believed in us. We will deliver this building for you, come hell or high water. We are really excited to do this for you. Thank you very much, State Street. And our friend John Barry, who Oliver mentioned. John Barry, who has been a longtime friend of mine, and been a wonderful partner on this project, who was the broker who represented State Street. John, you helped us negotiate this whole thing all the way through. Thank you, John Barry and CBRE. It is truly the people that matter. And in the end, it will be the people who will build this building. It will be people who will build this building. The men and women of the Boston building trades. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us through all of our careers. We love working with all of you. Some of you are outside the tent, you guys. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you so much for being here. We love working with all of you. We ask you, please, just focus on safety every single day as we build this building. Thank you, men and women of the building trades. The leader on site, of course, will be John Moriarty and Associates, and we love teaming up with John and his team. John's here somewhere. Where are you, John? Give it quite, there he is. Oh, he's in the back. Always humility in the back. The JMA project executive is our friend, Finn O'Sullivan. Where is Finn? Can recognize Finn. Finn thinks about everything. Finn thinks about all of the people who will build this building. He thinks about how will we feed the people on this job? Where will they park? How do we take care of all these people who will build it? It is with a company like JMA and with a thoughtful leadership like John's that give us great confidence that the success of this building is going to be clear and will be something that we'll be able to look back on for years to come. For us, it always comes back to people. It comes back to the member of Local 7 who on a cold winter morning 20 months from now will be setting a steel beam in place 400 feet up. It comes back to the member of Local 103 who will ensure that this building will be wired for the future so that State Street will have the 21st century cutting-edge technology it will need to compete in the global capital markets. People will lead this building. People will build this building. People will use this building. I hope that we can all do that, remembering the Burton family focus on love, peace, patience, and humility. Thank you very much.
Humility, I told you. You know, Tom, I didn't know you were going to say all that, so thank you so much for your kind words. You've been such a dear friend of the Burton family. Your love and your faith and your hard work and your dedication to this city and all that you do, your leadership, it speaks volumes. It speaks to the amazing people that are here in this room. I thank you for your kind words. I was not anticipating you saying all that, but you caught me off guard. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, HYM Investment Group. I'd like to welcome our final speaker, Lou Antonellis, Business Manager, IBEW, Local 103.
Thank you very much, Ron, and certainly very proud to be up here with the team that's going to build One Congress. Very glad to be next to Mayor Walsh, certainly Jeff Canny, Oliver, Ron, and Tom O'Brien and his hardworking team at HYM, and of course, all of you. This is such an exciting project for many of us, certainly who play a lot of different roles into getting to this point that we are at today. For those of us in the trades, in the IBW in particular, it's really a full circle moment for our memberships. Electricians install conduit, we pull wire for power, for lighting, for highly technical electrical systems, and we do it on projects all over the city, and certainly exciting and beautiful buildings like this building is going to be right here. After work, though, our members are on to other things. They're on to soccer games, they're on to Little League, and they're on to the busyness of raising families at home. Our members don't have the time or certainly the expertise to really focus on the hard stuff like investing. But we're glad to have experts like Jeff and his team at National, and ultimately responsible development teams like Tom and the folks at HYM to really turn to lean on, and to trust. Providing great jobs like this one for our members and strong return for our investments is really a win-win, and certainly gives leaders of the building trades peace of mind when they go home at night to know that their members' money is invested with high-quality individuals like Tom, like Jeff, and the others on stage, and certainly the folks at Carr and State Street Bank, who's been a client of Local 103's for as long as we've been in business. For 119 years, we've been doing the work for State Street Bank, and I really appreciate the opportunity that we have to build this building. We're excited. We're excited to build this project. We're excited to be changing the skyline in Boston, and we're ready to bring great jobs back to our highly diverse memberships. So I just want to say thank you once again to everybody, and let's get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. So here we go. We come to this point. What a vision. What a dream. Jeff, it's hard to imagine 13 years ago, you know, this whole thing began. But wow, it speaks to the patience and perseverance and persistence of this entire team, this entire room, and this incredible project that's about to transform this place. So, Mayor Walsh, could you come forward? On behalf of the stakeholders, the leadership team, everyone here in this room for this project, they want to present to you this token of their appreciation to you for your leadership, your vision, your passion for this city, and for making Boston what it is.
It's a good-looking building.
Gorgeous. At this point, I'd like to have all the leadership, the stakeholders come forward as we do the ceremonial groundbreaking of one Congress.